Hello and good day everyone, meteorologist Mark Molnar here with MeteoMark's Weather. It's great to have you here with me for a Monday edition, a rare edition. I thought I'd get this quick update out because we do have an area in the Eastern Pacific that bears watching. Up to 30% chance this could not just be a named storm in a week. This could be a major hurricane as well. We're going to take a look at all the details, and we are watching something here into parts of the Central Caribbean. That area around the 20th, 21st, 22nd into the 23rd. It looks like something may be brewing here in parts of the Central Caribbean. It's too early to say whether this will be a storm, but there is a lot of things to talk about here. And if that weren't enough, from the tropics to the severe weather coverage, we could be looking at a tremendous amount of rainfall here, especially across parts of the Northeast Ohio Valley and into the South, where we could see rainfall amounts of 4 to as much as 8 inches and locally higher amounts to 10 inches through the end of this month. Let's get into it. And don't forget, if you haven't caught my 2024 Hurricane Outlook, I have a link in the description down below. At the end of this video, I go over this entire Atlantic hurricane season. And here we go, getting into, I'm going to combine the Atlantic and the Eastern Pacific here. You can see as we head through the 15th into the 16th, it's looking really quiet here. I mean, we have an area of disturbed weather just north of the Bahamas, but that is with the tail end of the front. Now, as we continue to go out here in time, you can see what's going on. Intertropical convergence zone out here is pretty far to the south. This is where we do start to see something initialize. I know I had some viewers last video say from Guatemala, El Salvador, and even southern Mexico here saying it was just so hot and dry. This might be your chance to get some rainfall. This is by the 19th, 18th, 19th, 20th. Our model system's blowing this up into a major hurricane just off the Mexican coastline here as we head throughout the rest of the third week of May. So, yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to threaten land, but yeah, in the beginning here, it could spin some moisture up here along these coastal towns. It might bring some beneficial relief here. Now, as we get into the Atlantic here, things stay pretty quiet. We have a few showers here through the 18th and 19th here into the Western Caribbean. But this is where things really start to blow up. We start to see this moisture train. You can see it here from the Eastern Pacific. Following this way, we do have a few showers down towards Trinidad and Tobago during this time too. But take a look at this. Let's just get a good view here. Good bird's eye view. There we go. So, as we continue in time, you can see how this just conglomerates, this massive moisture surge here on the 22nd and heading onto the 23rd. And I do want to make note, the European model is agreeing with this now, and I'm going to show you that momentarily. But this is correlating with our big precipitation anomaly surge here as we head through the 23rd, 24th. I do want to zoom out here because I did want to show you our high-pressure systems up here during the Azores. They're retreating to the northeast, so this could allow this system, instead of heading towards the East Coast or Gulf, it could actually veer out to sea here or up towards Bermuda. So it's definitely something we're going to keep an eye on. It's way too early to tell whether this becomes anything like a storm or a subtropical storm and what direction it heads. But one thing's for certain, this is going to cause some life-threatening rains up and through parts of Hispaniola here, maybe as far west as Jamaica and as far east as Puerto Rico. So I'm deeply concerned. And look at all of the moisture here across northern part of South America. And that's not to say all of the moisture we'll be dealing with here in the Eastern Pacific that could be crossing over as well. Now let's take a look at the Euro. All right, so here we go. Yeah, we got a little bit of storminess up here into the Gulf of Mexico, but look at the Caribbean. Clear as a bell through the mid part of the week here. Up towards the Bahamas, you got this little area of low pressure well north of you, bringing kind of a cold front, a weakening washed out front here, so to speak. Got some showers over here towards the northern Lesser Antilles and the Virgin Islands, down towards Trinidad and Tobago as we head through the 16th into the 17th, so Thursday into Friday. And here it is. We just continue in time. European really grabbing forth here with our Eastern Pacific system as well. Look at, though, as we head towards the 19th, the 20th, look at that low up there off the East Coast. I'm going to get into that with your Synoptic forecast for North America, so just hold on. I'll have that for you momentarily. But here we go. things are going to get pretty interesting. Here it is. So you have this area of low pressure here across the Bahamas. Now watch this area right in here. We're going to start to have somewhat in the way of some activity here meeting up with this tropical moisture. So the European is a little bit different with the evolution of this, but look at this tropical moisture. It's going to be feeding into this area of low pressure here across the Bahamas. And there it is. We start to get some sort of potential development here on the European run with this just south of Jamaica and Haiti and eastern Cuba. So definitely something going on in here by the 22nd into the 23rd. It's an area we're going to have to watch. Positive precipitation anomalies likely. Now look at here into the Eastern Pacific. We just go in time. European is weaker on this system, but still bringing it up to potential tropical storm status. All right, so thanks to Tropical Tidbits for this information. As we continue with our climate model, we'll go weekly by weekly here. You know, we're in a dry phase this week here. It's showing up very nicely here on the model. Not much to say about that, but look at this as we head throughout. This is getting into, so this is the third week of May. There's that precipitation anomaly lining up with our forecast models very readily. Look at that. You can even see it here across eastern North America as well. But watch this as we head throughout the rest of May, through Memorial Day weekend into the early part of June. There's those precipitation anomalies filling in across the Caribbean islands. And there it is throughout June. Look at this. This is June. First part of June, June 3rd through June 10th. That just solidifying as the intertropical convergence zone comes further north. Even Florida is involved in this by this time. And look at that. We just continue to fill it in through the late part of June here. And as you can see, the water temperatures continue to warm up here in the Gulf, the Caribbean, and all throughout the MDR. Even a really warm loop current up here just off the east coast of the U.S. Look at even up towards the Azores here. This is some big warm bath water for this time of year. And here it is, taking a look at our La Nina watch here. Yeah, look at how much those blue shading is filling in the Eastern Pacific. This is a sign that La Nina is actually strengthening quicker than originally thought. And La Nina here, we're almost there. We're pretty much at a neutral phase as we head throughout mid-May. We'll be dropping south of that line and heading into a weak La Nina as we head into early summer, and then by a moderate La Nina as we head into August and September. I wanted to show you something here quickly. Dust, just before the sun set here, you can see that hazy brownish color. I did have a couple viewers, Trinidad, Tobago, these areas, a couple viewers in the comment section last video reporting some dust. So yeah, the dust has made it across much of the Atlantic. That will be fading a bit as we get towards the end of the month. Here it is. Let me just pause it if I can. Right there it is. So this gives us a really good view. You can see that brownish color showing up here across the Caribbean. And here it is out in the MDR. Really painting a good picture. You see that haziness there. That is all the dust. There's been quite a bit heavy dust here across parts of the Caribbean islands. Out here in the MDR of the Atlantic, look at how clear it is at the moment. Even you can see the wind shear shearing off some of these showers and thunderstorms. Intertropical convergence zone very far to the south right now, plowing into parts of South America. That's going to be bumping to the north as we head over the next couple of weeks. So for the tropics here, look at what's going on. This week looks pretty dry, but here it is towards the 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd. This is a lot of rainfall. Look at this, especially from the 18th to the 29th. This here, especially all the reds here, 60 to 100 millimeters of rainfall. That's getting up towards 3, 4, 5 inches in some of these areas. 100 to 150 millimeters of rainfall in these darker orangish areas. That is getting up into the 4, 5, 6, 7, some of these locally higher to 8 inches. Even the entire Lesser Antilles down to Trinidad and Tobago, you begin a lot of rainfall here, 90 to 110 millimeters. That's a lot of rain, even up here into parts of the Bahamas. And here we are into the Western Caribbean. This week's pretty dry, with the exception of South America. There's that hurricane shadow showing up here. Bring you some beneficial rains, places like El Salvador, Guatemala, parts of southern Mexico where you really need it. Cool it down a little bit, but here it is towards, look at this, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th, 29th. Look at how much rainfall. This is going to be a surge of tropical moisture here across Jamaica, Cuba, Haiti, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico here. This is where we could see 100 to as much as 150 millimeters. That's 4, 5, 6, 7 locally higher amounts to 8 inches possible. There's going to be some sort of tropical wave, tropical entity. Please stay tuned. It's too early to say whether there'll be development, but it's really starting to look like something is going to be in this vicinity. And one factor heading on into the rest of the May here, we're going to continue to see these storms plow over the same areas over and over again. And I'm deeply concerned that some of these areas, especially the Ohio Valley, the Deep South, and the parts of the Northeast, we could see some areas approach 5 to as much as 10 inches of rain over the next couple of weeks. All right, so I wanted to show you the severe weather potential here across Florida. There it is as we head towards, oh, this is 6 a.m. So we're already getting strong to severe thunderstorms out over the Gulf. And look at this, by 9 a.m. on Tuesday morning. Yeah, we're going to see, it looks like it's actually getting, further south here as well towards Orlando and Tampa. So that's something to really keep an eye on as we go out here in time. And then look at here towards 7 p.m. on Tuesday. Another reinforcing shot of storms, even some strong storms up here into parts of Georgia. And then another round potentially here. Look at that. Towards 6 a.m. on Wednesday morning. Another explosion of showers and thunderstorms here. It is going to be a stormy time of it. Florida, this is definitely your turn after weeks of nice weather. Now up here into parts of the Mississippi and Ohio River valleys, as we get into the overnight Monday into early Tuesday morning, those showers pushing to the north here. You can see what's going on here across parts of the Ohio Valley into the northeast. Showers and thunderstorms continuing to blossom here as we get up towards 8 p.m. on Tuesday. Even rainfall all the way up to the Susquehanna River Valley. And then this is going to be translating northward for Wednesday. So watch out. Let me just put this into motion. There it is towards 2 a.m. on Wednesday morning, all the way up into Ohio, Cleveland, Erie, Buffalo by 10 a.m. on your Wednesday. And there's that coastal low taking effect here. So it's going to be quite a rainy time of it as we head into your Wednesday across the Northeast. All right, so what's going on with our weather as we head throughout the rest of the week? Well, it's going to be very active. The severe weather continuing across the Southeast here. And then we get this low pressure moving up through parts of the Mississippi and Ohio River Valley. This is going to keep things stormy, even up into Southeast Canada there. I'm going to have your Canadian weather outlook just a tad bit further into this video. I do have a timestamp down below if you want to skip ahead, but here it is. There's that low exiting. This is right around Wednesday. So we got a double barrel low here with most of the moisture offshore, but you can see this is acting more like an upper level low. This low pressure here is going to get hung up. Look at this. It's kind of stalled by the 16th into the 17th. It's moving very little. Good news is it's kind of trying to push out here towards the Bermuda area, but our next system, maybe it can give it a little push here. Let's just zoom out just a tad. You can see maybe the potential for some stronger thunderstorms here across parts of the south. Look at this. As we get towards the 18th, this is getting into Saturday here. Yeah, this is terrible. I'm sorry to say, up here into parts of the Northeast. This is like, what, weekend number 4 or 5 in a row of just terrible rain, colder temperatures. It just seems to, every weekend, this is the name of the game here. And then here across the south, we're going to be dealing with that potential severe weather. Look at that. So that pushes to the east. Look at this, even into Sunday. I really hate to say this, a coastal low for your Sunday. Come on. I'm sorry to say this, but it's just like a broken record up here. We're into this very dangerous weather pattern that if it doesn't break through the summer, we're just going to keep getting these systems that drop a lot, rain, and it just accumulates over time here. It's just something to really keep an eye on. Going into hurricane season 2, that can really make some storms potentially make a beeline up the coast or into the Gulf of Mexico and then ride up the Appalachians. So that's just, food for thought. Most of you in the Northeast have not had any major hurricanes, even tropical storms for a while. So just stay vigilant here as we head towards the 21st into the 22nd. Look at this. We start to bring this warm front, low pressure further northward here. So severe weather we could be looking at next week towards the 21st. So at least it's looking like the warm weather is going to kick in here a little bit. Look at that out there in the plains, some potential for severe weather as well. As we get towards the 22nd into the 23rd, you can see it's just these low pressure systems exiting through the mid-Atlantic, and it always seems to give rise here to these coastal storms. And then you can see here as we head towards the 24th into the 25th. Right now, this model run, as you can see, is showing this system, this potential tropical system moving out into the open Atlantic. But definitely keep an eye on it if you have interest here along the East Coast or the Gulf Coast for that matter. There, high pressure building in. Look at this by the 28th. This is getting into day after Memorial Day. So let me just back this up. Give you your... I know this is pretty far out. This is more than 300 hours out, but you can see there's Memorial Day weekend. Looks like you might eke out some good weekend here along the East Coast. But like I said, things can really change. And look at that. You get a lot of thunderstorm complexes moving through the Ohio Valley beyond that point. All right, so here's our GFS run of precipitation as we head throughout the rest of the week. Look at that. Yeah, the weekend is when we add most of the heaviest precipitation. That's pretty much given as we head into the weekend. It's like a broken record of getting rained out, across the east. Unfortunately, this is piling up to 2 to 4 inches here into the reds. And look at here across the south. We're going to be looking at 4 to 8 inches with locally higher to 10 inches. Watch out. I want to go a little bit further on this for you. Look at this. This is through Memorial Day weekend. This is good for you up in Canada. You need it after last year's wildfires. But look at here across the Ohio Valley into the upper Mississippi River Valley, the southeast. This is getting borderline dangerous here. That is solid 4 to 8 inches plus. So if we take a look at the European run here, this takes us through Thursday. You can see 1 to 2 inches up here across the north. Gulf Coast regions and inland, 4, 5 inches in some of these areas. Yeah, and we just keep adding on top of it as we head through the 23rd here. The name of the game here across the east is tremendous tropical moisture. Upper air pattern here on our European run shows that trough continuing across the eastern part of North America as we head through mid-month here into the 3rd week. We're just going to set up camp here of a very stormy time of it across eastern North America. So for your Canadian weather outlook, let's take a look and see what we got going on here as we head through Monday into Tuesday night. Yeah, we still have some snow out here, out in the Rockies, over towards British Columbia, Alberta, way up here into the northern central parts of Canada. Yeah, this is going to be very stormy here across eastern Canada, even western Canada, southwestern Canada. But as we get towards the 17th and the 18th, there's that big area of low pressure. It's all rain this time of year across Quebec and Ontario. A cold rain at that, though, as this storm moves across Saskatchewan here over towards Manitoba and eventually Ontario as we head towards the 19th into the 20th. Now look at this. We actually get some snow up here and way up into the northeastern Canadian Maritimes here, well north and east of Newfoundland here. But there it is across Canada. We're going to continue to see this rain. We do need the rainfall, especially after last year's wildfire season. There it is by the 23rd. Look at here. We're continuing to get a good snowpack out here in British Columbia and Alberta with the Rocky Mountains, and then continuing rainfall. It just seems like Nova Scotia and New Brunswick here in Quebec just socked in with lots of rainfall. You don't start to dry out until the 25th and 26th, but even then, look at another storm system moves right towards Ontario and Quebec here as we head towards the 28th into the 29th. So a very stormy time of it. Look at this last frame here on the 29th. Look at this. This is quite a cold front for this time of year. This is like an Arctic blast across Saskatchewan and Manitoba. All right, so for our Canadian precipitation up here, look at this. Yeah, as we head through the 29th, take the next couple weeks, look at this. This is actually pretty good news for the wildfire situation this year. And even up here into eastern Canada as well, these areas that are getting into the reds, 60 to 100 millimeters, 3-4 inches, and then 100 to 150 millimeters, that's 4 to 6 inches. That's some really good news. Hopefully there won't be any flooding, but we definitely need the moisture up here into Canada. So for the Western Pacific here, what is going on out here? Well, there could be a whole lot of something happening. Now, one thing to note, it's definitely not happening up here in Japan. You got this big old front up here that just caused a tremendous amount of rain. So we're going to be looking at the Philippines, Taiwan, South China, Vietnam. Look at this as we go out here in time. Let me just stop it right here. This is by May 19th. Look at this storm. Whoops, there we go. So look at this storm way out here west of the Marshall Islands out here. Look at this thing. It does look like it stays pretty far out here as it kind of gets caught up. But look at that. It does find some kind of weakness here in the high pressure system, riding the periphery. This is towards May 23rd. So it does start to get picked up. Yeah, there it is. These frontal boundaries this time of year keep these typhoons away from Japan. You can see that paralleling the coast here. There's Tokyo. Here is our potential typhoon. Don't see anything else. Look at these fronts this time of year. This is pretty far to the south, but you can actually get tropical development along the tail ends of these fronts. And then, wow, we just lost our feed. There we go. So let's just continue. I'll just back this up here. I'll show you. There it is, the 25th. That is the only game in town out here. There is a lot of storminess, though. Look at Vietnam over here, Thailand, South China. You got Taiwan up here. Japan's up here, and the Philippines, especially the northern Philippines, getting pummeled with a tremendous amount of rain. Maybe potentially in excess of 100 millimeters. I got plenty more weather for you in just a moment, but take a look at my affiliate. Do you want some awesome maps? Check this out. I am proud to announce that I am now an affiliate with Trilogy Maps. TrilogyMaps.com, bringing you the most digital, customizable maps found nowhere else on the internet. These maps are simply stunning. It's an advanced layering system that makes these maps great for making forecast maps with ease or any other maps that you would like to display important information on. The resolution on these maps is simply amazing. From the detail of everything here in the States, and you can also create stunning, digital, professional layered maps from also across the entire world. And don't forget, in checkout, the discount code option, use my code, MeteoMark, hit apply, and you will get 20% off your order. So if you want the most professional, customizable, and affordable weather maps found nowhere else on the internet, look no further than TrilogyMaps.com. Link in the description down below along with your discount code. Temperature-wise here, look at actually quite a bit in the way of warm temperatures. 80s and even 90s here. Look at Florida just basking in mid to upper 90s. That's crazy in some of these areas. Humidity will be on the rise. Look at that. We even get 70s finally up here into parts of the Northeast. But then we get to Wednesday and we start to see, evidence that there's some cooler air up here, 60s. Look at most of Texas into the 90s here. As we head towards Thursday here, look at massive surge of warmth here, even across the east, getting up into the 70s by Friday. Look at this heat building in the central states, 80s and even some 90s filling in here. Let's get that out of the way. There we go. And then as we head towards, say, Saturday here. Yeah, 83 and 80 up to Cleveland. Look at that surge of 100s there across western Texas. That is pretty crazy. And then as we head into Sunday here, moderating just slightly, but it actually doesn't look that bad. Look at this. Even some 70s and 80s here across parts of the Northeast and Ohio Valley. A extended outlook from hometown viewers, Binghamton to Scranton, Susquehanna, River Valley, New York, and Pennsylvania. Look at this. Rain showers scattered about, thunderstorms possible later Tuesday. Clouds will be on the increase heading up towards the mid-70s. At least it's warmer. Tuesday night and Wednesday, showers and thunderstorms likely, potentially up to a half to 3/4 of an inch of rain. It'll keep the temperatures down slightly on Wednesday into Thursday. A little bit more sun, but now we're adding scattered showers and thunderstorms to the mix, so it seems like every day. Look at this into Friday as well, scattered showers. Into Saturday, Showers likely again. This is just terrible. I know the rainfall's good this time of year, but too much of a good thing, even as we head into the weekend. As always, thank you for joining me for this edition of MeteoMark's Weather. Also, don't forget to join me on Facebook at MeteoMark, also Weather Northeastern, also Twitter at Weather Eastern. Don't forget it's MeteoMark.com, and don't forget, if you want to send me a coffee, there is a link, Super Thanks. You can smash that Super Thanks button or my PayPal link in the description down below. You can buy me a cup of coffee. Thanks, everyone. Share that video. Subscribe if you haven't. Smash that like button.